Greetings, Dan Halligan here with a solitaire game so that we can see the new components in action. And it's featuring yours truly playing a solitaire opponent, Cornwallis, playing an intermediate solitaire opponent. I lost to an expert last time, need a little confidence boost. A couple of things regarding the aesthetics of the game as they lay out all together. It really pulls together nicely. I was a little bit worried about the bare, sort of austere look of the supply board, but that's only when it's not been populated with components. When you get the components out there, you still have the lovely Derbyshire countryside, and then you have purples all communicating. You have just a nice look. We do have the new objective card. I'd be curious about anybody's opinion regarding that. I've got the viticulture coins that I'm using, and I think that there's been a lot of talk on Board Game Geek and on the Kickstarter comments on where you can get those if you want those with the game. And I just love this turn track. Benjamin gets a lot of credit for his Wimbledon purple, and the fact that we have these purples working together really knits it together. I would have to say I'm already keeping track of things that need a little bit of attention. One is that for some reason my parchment colors are off here. I have to look at that. And I'm not sold on that number in the middle of the reputation counter circle. I'm thinking about that, even though it matches the cursive style here, which is, I think, Mistrial. Also, this is probably the most problematic component. I do like the combination of the distressed elements and the elegant, which I'm trying to go for all through this game to represent the Victorian era. That's too large. It's not aligned very well. I think that has to be maybe either smaller or more in line with the cursive style. Also, I rushed this at the end. I was really up against a deadline. I didn't get my columns aligned perfectly. Do not fear. Panda is making this game, and Panda did Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which has the finest margin management I've ever seen in a game. So we are going to be rock solid on that. But for right now, you'll see a little bit of a mismatch. But beside those couple of items, I love the look. I love the muted colors. I had mentioned in the unboxing I thought these too dark, but I think it serves to distinguish those cards. We've got the new AI right here. So we're going to be using that, our 20-sided dice. That's not the one that comes in the game. That's just one I have lying around here. Let me make a shameless plug for this Gamer Glass by Jennifer Ham. These things are beautiful. I use them for first player marker, which I really don't need. But look how elegant that white Gamer Glass is on that turn track. So I do make a shameless plug for Jennifer Ham, wife of Richard Ham, who we know as Rado. And let me get a closer up look there in case you would like to get those for the game. Let me drop you into your static cam position. I will take you out for a walk from time to time and bring components close to you as needed. Hopefully there, that I probably need to come up a little bit there. Hopefully there. Let me make sure we're in focus. Okay. So, we are on turn one. We are playing a closed courtship, and the reason we're playing a closed courtship is because an open courtship where we see, I'm going to look at I'll reshuffle these, where we see, and again, this component is being redone. The deadline has put a lot of stresses on my calendar, and so I didn't get to this one either. This will be redone to match the colors, and I'm going to make them a little less wordy. But these are the different categories in the improvement organizer, and if we do an open courtship where we see that category and we know what our opponent has in those categories for the whole season, it makes it too easy. So we play closed courtship when we're playing a solitaire opponent. Now, when you're getting your butt kicked by an expert opponent, you can give yourself the advantage of an open courtship and see if that helps. So I'm going to shuffle these up. So those are shuffled. Those are back out there. We have 4 turns in this courtship. We're going to get started. We do not know what the passion of the Fairchild twins is going to be. We look at Cornwallis and we see that he did not play the study tile, which is really an interesting challenge because I absolutely love, and I almost always do play the study tile in order to get on the 3rd and on the 11th turn on the turn track the benefit of the village fair, which is over the course of a game 600 pounds and almost a full level of reputation. 4 reputation, or a level of reputation is 5. So that's gonna require some thought on whether I want to play that tile and lose out on an essentials courtship. I'm going to get started, however. I want to get after this butler's pantry. This butler's pantry, I love the flexibility of having the multi-skilled, multi-talented under butler in my service. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to play the bowling green. Bowling green requires that I have a footman, which, since I have not played any service yet, when I look at my order of play, no need to rotate service. I'm hosting activity, which is the bowling green. Next item is to invite guests. It says 2 gentry on the bowling green. I'm going to do the Earl and his lady. The main reason I'm thinking about doing the Earl and his lady is because the Earl and the bowling green give me enough to acquire that butler's pantry, and the lady allows me to bring in what is likely to be a positive guest, given that she gets to look at 2 and keep 1. You have to keep guests coming into your hand. If you don't, you're going to pass an extra time in the game and you're going to lose. So I'm going to next provide service. We're at our own manor house, so the lady and her husband, you know, they have their own lady's maid and valet. These here are for providing hospitality. So we've gone and we finished. They've gone outside. They've played a game of bowls. We're going to be collecting 500 pounds, and we're looking at the top 2 cards. Let's see who we have. Look at that. This is the advantage of the lady. She knows enough people that, oh boy, time for glasses. Holding these at a distance was making it for a challenge. So we have Charleston Hobart, who is a gossip. And we also have Anne Harlow, who is a much better guest to have at our house. And so we're going to select Anne, put her in our gentry deck there, and we're going to put Charleston over there in the discard pile. Now we go ahead and clean up. That is the discard pile for the gentry deck. Bowling green gets flipped. Here's the new accents. So that told me it was a start tile, that building, and now we're on the back side. That tells me that I have played the bowling green. Whoops, sorry to bump you. So we put the bowling green there in our organizer, and we put our servant in expended service. I now have the opportunity to enjoy favors. I'm going to put that 500 in there. I'm going to acquire the butler's pantry and these services of the under butler, who can perform any male service role. He can be blue, white, or green. He'll go with the servant over there to get oriented, and this will drop into the organizer. It helps close the gap there. I now have 1 in service, and I need a 2 to tie that. If we tie in a courtship, we both get a victory point card, and we do not get the actual visit from the love interest because we're running neck and neck, if you will. Okay, so that was my turn, and now it is time for a market action on the part of Cornwallis. It's a standard turn, so it's that middle column, and we roll and see which position they're interested over here. Whoop, I did not populate my builder's market. The next Item out is the equestrian corral. Goes there, has a discount of 100. Position 1, if you look at our AI, a roll of 1 to 4, purchases from position 1. So the still room is taken out of the market by our solitaire opponent. We slide down, we draw another, and we get the Hillside Kennels. Put it on the right side. That goes there. Turn 1 is over. We go to turn 2. I rotate my service on my player board. I now really need to decide whether or not I want to play the study, and yes, I decide I want to play the study. So I put the butler there. I invite 2 family. I'm not going to be using either of my guests yet. I'm going to be bringing the son and daughter. No service is required for the son and the daughter, who have their own servants, and so we just get their favors for the game. The young man gets a choice between £100 and a reputation. Young lady gets an invite. If she was attending this, well, she couldn't do this because it was family only, but if she was attending an activity with a prestige guest, she would get 2 reputation as well. So I'm going to take a point of reputation from the young man, and from the young lady I'm going to take this guest. Outstanding. This is Sir Richard Beeston. The respected Sir Richard loves music and is known for his gallantry and hospitality. He brings £200. He uses a valet, which dovetails with our objectives. He goes in there. These 2 go into the discard pile. We break down. We flip this over. So now I lose my 3 victory points because I'm spending time with the locals at the village, which isn't exactly aristocratic behavior to focus there too much. But I am going to realize some revenue and some local renown for putting on a good village fair. Next turn, in fact, and that will be very nice indeed. Purchase decision coming from the Cornwallis opponent. I rolled a 13. So if we look, 13 is position 4. Position 4, ooh, that's the Manor Conservatory, which quite honestly I had my eye on. That's a very powerful tile. That comes out of the builder's market. We slide down here, and what comes in is the drawing room. Put the drawing room here, and we move on to the village fair. Starting the village fair, I get £300. Put that here, and I get 2 reputation, moving towards level 2. I rotate my service, and I ask myself, what's in the market? I got a stables, a croquet field, a smoking room. I look at Cornwallis, and as it stands right now, I'm trailing in essentials, first column. If I were to hire servants, I could tie the second column. We're tied in the third column. We're ahead in the last column. The purple prestige we're behind. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and host a game of whist in the front parlor. Housekeeper is going to, well, I should go in order here. Invite 2 ladies. Oh, I can't invite 2 ladies, can I? So I can't host a game of whist because I have only 1 lady in my circle of friends who's available. So that shut me down there. It means I'm going to go ahead and seize the lead in estate, which I need 2 gentry. Put that here. I'm going to invite 2 gentry. I think I do want to pick up, can I pick up that smoking room? I can't quite get there. I'm going to go reputation with Major Clark. And I'm going to get some money from Sir Richard Beeston. So these are the 2 that I'm going to invite. So Major Clark gives me 2 reputation, and Sir Richard Beeston 200 pounds. You might say, hey, you've got a problem, you need 2 valets. The under butler to the rescue, because I have 1 valet to take care of Major William Hawes, and then Sir Richard is going to be served and taken care of by the under butler in a pinch. And then my footman goes up for the main gazebo. I've successfully hosted afternoon tea. I look at my pounds first. I'm going to take 200. I'm going to take 200 pounds. Next thing I look at is my reputation. I'm going to get 2 here, and look, I flip over to the 2nd level. I'm very pleased about that. Third thing I look at, according to the order of play, is I look at invitations, and I get a 2nd level of invitation. This is very big, and we have a good one here. So he's worth 2 victory points at the end of the game. This is Peter Viscount Townsend. Yes, I had a little fun there. One of my favorite composers, Peter Townsend, The Who. The Viscount is a superb and honored sportsman, having traveled to India to hunt big game. He will require that valet, which really makes me want to hire my 2 valets, and comes with a bit of reputation. He goes over in the pile. He is, whoa, I dropped him. Sorry, Sir Peter. Not Sir Peter, but he is a reputation 4. I am currently at a 2, so I can't invite him right away. I need to bump up my reputation before he will grace my manor house with his presence. I now break down, flip over my main gazebo. I'm now in a leadership position as it relates to the courtship, which is excellent. So now I finish my turn with a purchase decision. I'm going to take the 500. I've identified that this smoking room is the improvement I want to get. Put that there. Slide down. We have an expansion queen suite coming in. This is a new type of tile, which is a combo improvement tile that turns into a monument. How this works is that an elaborate guest suite has been built in the manor house, and it allows the doubling of a favor for 1 lucky guest, and then afterwards the word spreads, and it confers reputation upon the person who builds the queen's suite. So this goes into the builder's market. That'll be something I'll be keeping an eye on. And now we have a purchase decision, which is a 9. The purchase decision from Cornwallis is position 3, is going to be selected. The equestrian corral is removed from the game. We slide down and we populate. We get our first essentials tile in, which is the breakfast room. That goes there. And we are now on to a courtship. We move to a courtship, and we're going to begin that courtship by revealing the theme. And look, I got burned for my decision to go ahead and cater to the village fair. It's cost me some reputation, and it has also cost me the first courtship. So the interesting thing about how Solitaire works is that the victory points for their overall gameplay can be augmented by courtship. And in this case, they're going to secure what will be a blind courtship card to me. They're going to secure that card, and that will go over with this card and be revealed at the end of the game. That can be anywhere between 3 and 8 victory points. In addition, they're in the lead for retaining that card, which can also be placed with Cornwallis at the end of the game, if they win the overall courtship. So I don't want to be adding to the 94, which is a solid score. It could already be over 100 points, which is a very good score. So that goes over here with Cornwallis. And we are now going to move on to Season 2, where we will have the second hidden courtship event ahead of us. On to Season 2, and I made a mistake and filmed Season 2 and didn't have the sound on, so I had to reconstruct. If you notice something slightly out of place, my apologies, but I think I got it right as I was able to examine the film. So we're moving on to season 2, turn 5. As I look at turn 5, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to really speed this along. If you have any questions, hit me in the comments, but I'm just going to be bang, bang, bang. I do want to do this tennis court, but I have to rotate my service, but I still don't have my footman to do that. I want to address service shortage. I can't get by in a game like this with that amount of servants. I'm taking a footman and a valet. You might ask why I don't take a third valet, because I need the flexibility of that footman for all these outdoor activities. I flip this. That brings me in a tie with Cornwallis. 2 points for service, which is a good thing. And I am done. I have no money to make a purchase, but Cornwallis is not in the same boat. He makes a purchase from position number 1. Riding stables comes out. Let me make sure I'm in focus. Riding stables comes out. We slide down. And in comes, oh, the Cabinet of Curiosities, which is one of my objectives. If you recall the gentleman's group, I need the Cabinet of Curiosities, so I'm excited about seeing that, although it is a premium, and that's 800 pounds, and I'm poor, which I am now going to correct. We get 3 objective cards, and we get to keep 1. So I'm looking at these 3 objective cards. And I don't want to do another group. You really got to focus on one group. Service, that's worth 2 victory points. That's worth 2 victory points. But I do see the kennels over there, and I do want kennels. So I'm going to take a sporting improvement bonus there. Put these at the bottom of the deck. And now I'm going to come and rotate service, and I'm in business for tennis. Tennis it is, brings me 300 pounds. I invite 2 guests, which is going to be Honorable Winston Hayward and Ann Harlow. See if I can put those closer, since I'm not going to move this as much. They both require service, which I have. Winston and Ann have their service. I have my footman over at the tennis court. I first look at my money, and actually my only favor is money. It's 300, 400, 500, so I'm grabbing 500 right here. I then clear. I flip my tennis court, put them in my discard pile. I have 500 to spend. I want that Hillside Kennels. I'm going to put that Hillside Kennels there. That goes toward my objective, as will this Cabinet of Curiosities, if I can get that. I pay 500 and get 100 back. And we have a purchase decision coming. Well, let's first populate our market. Populate the market, and I have a garden maze. That is, I'll bring that up close. That is from our stretch goals. That is now at a $200 premium. That's $1,000 there. My $100 has me a long way from that. So you're now going to see that Cornwallis is going to change his behavior significantly. And that is that when there is a monument, 1 to 8 has him purchasing that monument, and then the positions 1 through 4 can also get a purchase. So let's roll and see what Cornwallis does. Cornwallis indeed, obviously given the extraordinary value of the monument, goes after the monument and purchases it. It now comes out of the marketplace. And we get a riding stables that comes in. So that is the end of that turn. We go to turn 7. We rotate service. I'm now down to just 1 guest, who I don't even have the reputation to host. So I am passing. This puts all my service as fresh. I get 200 pounds for tenant rents, and I collect my deck back. We now have another purchase decision coming from Cornwallis, and Cornwallis is going to take the drawing room. Very nice tile. Wish he had not taken that, but it does bring the Queen Suite at a very, very low price, which is exciting to me. Hey, we've got another stretch goal. The barn has come into play, which has a $200 premium, so it's expensive coming in, but hopefully that'll drift down and I'll have a shot at it. We now go on to our next courtship event. That courtship event is service. So I was smart to go ahead and tie with Cornwallis here in service, and as a result, neither of us get attention from the Fairchild twins, as we're both sort of equal in their eyes of the courtship, but I get one, and Cornwallis now adds another. This is very dangerous. I'm really jacking up that 94 to a dangerous place by not winning courtships. I, on the other hand, get a card I really like to see because I need a third valet. I don't know if I'm going to actually go with the butler's room to hire a third valet. That's an expensive cost of a turn. Now I have a way to get 7 victory points by trading this in. I do only net 2 victory points, but it is a worthwhile transaction nonetheless. The beginning of season 3, we start with the village fair, and the village fair, because of my work in the study planning for village fair, nets me 300 pounds, gets me up to 500, and now I'm actually in the range for the Queen Suite already, but the cabinet compels me more. I also get 2 reputation. Reputation is a problem. I'm starting season 3 at 2 reputation. I've got to make quick strides. So I'm going to the smoking room. Smoking room invites 2 gentlemen. And the 2 gentlemen that I am going to invite, it's going to be Sir Richard Beeston and Major William Hawes. And my thinking here is that I want to get the cabinet of curiosities before this dice, 20-sided dice, takes it away from me. I have the footmen, I have the valets to take care of that. I have the butler to go here. And look what happens here. So now I get 200 additional pounds. So I'm up to 700, which gets me the cabinet of curiosities. And I also get 5 reputation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brings me up to level 3, which is outstanding. I now break down, come here, goes into my discard pile. Smoking room flips over. I'm now at 2 on the smoking room, which, because, well, Cornwallis is 5, but if I play that front parlor, which I'm overdue to play, then I'll close that gap. So now I have 700 to spend, and there's 500, 600, 700. I had 800, so there's 700. I pick up the cabinet of curiosities. Well, look at that. One of the great advantages of prestige tiles is the front side victory points. I have a front side victory point total of 4, so I'm now 8, 2, 6. I am leading for that courtship event by acquiring the cabinet. Not only acquiring it, but also working towards my objectives, which is very pleasing. Come up with a flower room next. Goes into the builder's market. Purchase decision by Cornwall. We have a 15. 15 represents position 5. I lose out on the barn. I really wanted to have the barn because it's a stretch goal, but that's gone. Flower room slides down. We pull in another smoking room, which is of no particular use to me. Turn 10, we're going to rotate service. I'm thinking of getting this Queen Suite. It has front side victory points, which would put me in a good position to pursue the lead that Cornwallis has, but also it turns into a monument once I play it, and I'm approaching reputation level 4. Going with the Hillside Kennels, 3 gentry are invited to the hunt, and I'm going to go with 3 family members. And one of the reasons is I want to preserve my service, and I like the variety of favors that come. I move over here. My money is 500, so I pick up 500. My reputation, I'm going to take 1 reputation from the young man, the heir, the Honorable Robert Smythe. and I am going to look at 2 and keep 1 from here. And a couple of good picks. Neither one is a bad actor, but I'm going to go with Reginald Hopkins. Reginald is the youngest son of 6, destined for a small parsonage. Until then, he sports. So he goes there, she goes there. Clear. Discard pile, flip that over. I'm totally dominant in the sporting area with 9 points. And I have 600 to spend. I'm going to spend 500. I'm going to pick up this Queen's Suite. Slide down. And, whoa, we have another suite tile, which is the Heritage Guest Suite. It is a little bit less powerful because it does not function as a monument that generates reputation each turn. It's not quite as impressive as the Queen or the Richard Lionheart Suite, but that's still an interesting tile. So we're now on to a purchase decision by Cornwallis, and Cornwallis is going to pick up number 2. He's picking up a breakfast room. I'm perfectly fine with that. That slides down. In comes the North Library. Let's make sure we're in focus. And we slide along. It's now Builder's Holiday, which allows you to purchase more than 1 tile from the market. It represents cheap labor and perhaps opening of a quarry that allows you to be a little more aggressive in your building plan. I don't have any money, so that doesn't apply so much to me. So now I am really focused on reputation, and I want to play, I want to get the front parlor going. I have 2 ladies that can go to this. I play that, rotate my service, housekeeper goes here. I do need a lady's maid for Anne Harlow. The favors are as follows. I get 100 from Anne Harlow, puts me up to 200. Reputation, I get 3 here, which bumps me to level 4. And I enjoy 1 invite here. And it's a good one. It's a very good one. This is one of the best casual guests you can get. You can see the local prototype manufacturer got their margin all messed up. So it's one of the best prototypes you can, or not prototypes, best casual guests you can get. Put that casual guest there. Let's break down. Now I'm in a lead here. I have 10 points in prestige, where Cornwallis is only going to get 5 this turn. I'm leading there, I'm leading there, I'm trailing there, I'm trailing there, I'm trailing there. Well, don't toot your horn too hard. Clear this to here. It's going to be a purchase decision for me. I could pick up that croquet field. I could even pick up the riding stables, and those are worth a victory point for me. And I really don't have to save money for anything else. I think I am going to purchase. I'm going to purchase the croquet field. Gets me a victory point from an objective card. Make sure we're in focus. Slides that down. We have the Grand Garden comes into play. Put that there. Purchase decision is going to be coming from Cornwallis, a 4. It's going to grab another green tile. We're going to slide down.